vehicles from softroadingthewest, emerging from the seclusion of his campsite onto the forest road, setting out on what is sure to be the epic adventure on a Tuesday in northeastern Idaho.
Is it Tuesday or is it Monday?
Okay, it's Monday, but they don't know that.
Well, Craig is off on his way back to Idaho, and I am starting my journey westward. I've got a few miles of highway driving to do to sort of hook back up to the route that I had originally planned that got sort of screwed up with yesterday's gated fiasco. Well, the first part of this trip had some very planned destinations, campsite along the river with all my cousins, and then I wanted to get up into those mountains we were in yesterday, try and get over that pass. The rest of the trip is really not planned out at all. I plotted a rough route across 4 different national forests that butt up against each other, but that's just a rough draft, and what I want to do on this trip is just explore my way home. If something looks interesting going that way instead of that way, that's what I'm going to do. If I see a side road that looks interesting, I'm going to poke up it. I'm hoping that I can maybe stumble across a historic site or two. We'll see what happens. So it is 10 a.m. Monday. I've just gotten back off pavement. I don't know how long it will take me to get back onto pavement. I've got a spot planned where I'll jump out of the national forest and go down to get some gas, and I'll do a short stint on the highway, but I really don't know how long it's going to take me to get my way there. It just sort of depends on what I find along the way. Pretty densely forested here, but I think that along the route on the way back I will end up in some treeless areas and some areas where there's some forest but less dense. Should be an interesting mix of ecosystems, I think.
Found not just an abandoned cabin, but a whole little ghost town. These old buildings are sitting on private land, so I can only look at them from the road, but what a perfect little scene in this old West Valley. As I climb westward into the hills above the ghost town, a break in the trees reveals a glimpse back towards where I came from, and, looking carefully, I can actually see the rough mountain pass we traversed yesterday. You can just barely see that shelf road cut into the slope, right there.
After getting up into the hills above that little ghost town, it's pretty much just been all driving through the forest, pretty densely forested. It reminds me of driving around through the forests of Western Oregon. Just sort of a nice, plain, easy gravel road, lots and lots of trees. It's just different varieties of trees. And it's lovely, and on a hot day you can't complain about having some shade, but I kind of wouldn't mind getting into some areas where I can actually see what's out there.
This little 2-track was already a derivation from my planned route that didn't go through earlier. In the process of trying to quickly improvise on the fly, it looked like this trail would get me back on track, but it randomly came to an end with no room to turn around. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time this has happened this morning, and I'm getting a little concerned about how much fuel I've been burning backtracking on roads that don't pan out. I'm still a long, long ways from where I planned to buy gas.
Okay, so here's the situation. I've been driving for a number of hours through the forest, and I've had a couple of routing issues where the route that I had planned did not go through where it looked like it would go through. And so I've had to double back a couple of times, retrace my steps, reroute. At one point I got a good enough view sort of in the direction that I was going. And ultimately it's not very interesting for you either because there's just nothing to see. Trees. Possibly maybe I should run through with fuel that I have and my extra fuel and make it to where my next planned fuel stop was. Probably okay, but I'm not 100% certain, and if I have too many more routing mishaps like I've already had today, it starts getting even more iffy. Now, if it was really just gorgeous, epic, amazing views, you know, I might be a little more willing to risk it, but ultimately all I found myself doing today was just like, okay, I got to get through this forest so I can get to someplace more interesting. And, you know, I wanted to make this whole route off pavement, but it doesn't make any sense to keep driving off pavement if it's not fun for me, it's not interesting for you. Since I found myself so close to the highway, just a couple miles that way, airing up, get on the highway, I'm going to try and wrap around some of these more forested chunks of national forest, stop and fill up, get the gas tank filled back up, and then get back off into the next segment of my journey, which looks like it has potential to be a little more visually interesting. So, let's see how that goes. Now that is what I'm talking about. That looks a little more compelling. Now you can't get up into that mountain range from this side and have to wrap around the back. I was planning on sort of coming behind that mountain range from the other direction on the route that I was on.
I've now got a full tank of gas and I'm heading up into that mountain range from the opposite side of what I just showed you. I think this road here is going to follow a creek, and I'm curious to see.
So this random dog out in the middle of nowhere here. Now, what? So I gave him some water, but he wasn't thirsty. I realized it's all wet. I think there's a little creek down there someplace. So he must not be thirsty, but he does seem to be lost. I'm not sure what to do. You want to go for a ride a little bit? We'll see if we can find your people. Well, he wasn't thirsty, but he definitely was whiny and feeling lost, I think. He was super willing to hop in the truck. There were some people back there. I'm gonna drop back down and see if by chance he's their dog. And if not, then we'll go further up the road and see if he came down the road from someone. It's okay, you're all right, buddy. I had to move a bunch of stuff out of the back seat into the canopy to make a space for that big guy. Oh, that is a big dog. Some of you say I should get a dog, but it's got to be a lot smaller than that. You alright? You good? He doesn't have a tag, so there's no way to call someone or even know what his name is. Oh. Does the air conditioning feel pretty good? Get that AC on you. Let's see if we can turn that up a little more. Those people were just up here. I see their car. Are you all missing a dog by chance?
No.
Oh,
What does he look
no.
like? Oh, that's a guy from Seneca. Is that the big dog?
He's a huge dog.
Yeah, that's, we know whose dog that
He's
is.
right down there.
Oh, okay.
Down there?
He was up there. He was just wandering around on the road looking very frightened. He hopped right in the truck and was like... But I thought I'd come check with you guys, and then I thought I would drive further up the road and see if he came from someone
Yeah,
up there.
Wait, actually, we'll follow you to make sure he gets home. If not, he lives next door to me.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he went down, the motor went down that road, but we'll just follow you to make sure he gets down there.
Okay. So those people in that car, it's not their dog, but they know the owner and they saw him go up this way, so it's all good. It's all good, huh, buddy? Deer out there. We've driven, man, at least a mile, maybe more, from where I found him. Still haven't found the owner. Those people are following me so that if we don't find the owner, they can take the dog home. So all's well that ends well. We found the dog's owner. I would say it was a good 2 miles up the road. So that dog really went for a run. The dog's owner told me that this road ends, and on the map it looked like it made a loop. I was going to make this loop and follow the creek, see if there were any campsites along here. But the road is just blocked by dead trees. There was clearly a fire here a few years ago, and there are still downed trees everywhere. Nah, not worth it. There is a cute little creek here. I did see one campsite on my way up in here, and it could be an option, but we're still down at pretty low elevation and it's really hot. So I think what I'm gonna do is, since it's 3:30, well, I don't think I'm gonna camp here. I haven't gained very much elevation and it is really hot. But this is a nice little campsite that I could come back to if I don't find anything else. But there's a cute little creek here and this lovely little meadow. I suspect it's probably gonna be kind of buggy, but for now it's really hot. I'm just gonna get wet a little bit. I've been sweating all day long. I feel much better.
I'm now driving up what appears on the map to be the highest elevation road in this area, in hopes of maybe finding a campsite where it'll be a little less hot. The temperature is very noticeably decreasing as I climb. The road terminated at a trailhead, but I seem to have come way up the mountain.
incredible. I think that's the other side of the mountains that I showed you earlier. We're very nearly up at the top. It's also about 20 degrees cooler up here than it was down below. We'll have to see what the elevation is. What an unbelievable view.
If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me post a story from what appears to be a very Instagrammy looking campsite.
Wow, this looks like a totally epic campsite. I'm really just in the parking lot of a trailhead. And there's another dude over there. Can't believe everything you see on Instagram. 7,970 feet up there at that trailhead. Just shy of 8,000 feet. I think that's now the highest I've ever driven. My previous record was yesterday at 7,200 feet.
There aren't any campsites up here at the top, so I'm going to drop back down a bit to find a spot for the night. Hopefully I can at least get into some shade, and if I can get near one of the creeks flowing down the mountain, all the better.
I guess this will have to make do for tonight.
There's something to be said for perseverance, but there can also be wisdom in knowing when to let go and try something else instead. I'm so glad I dropped my original plan and found myself here tonight. Well, it's been a long day. I got up about 5:30 this morning, and still a little bit of light in the sky, but it's the middle of summer, so it's actually starting to get pretty late. I think I'm gonna get ready for bed and lay down, do some reading, and just see if I can get a solid night's sleep. Good night.
Well, that was definitely the coldest night, and it's the chilliest morning so far of the trip. I mean, it wasn't so cold that I didn't sleep with both the windows completely open. I did make a screen for the wind door so that I could sleep with that open and keep the bugs out during the night. Basically, this is just some bulk screen material that I got at the hardware store. I cut it to the shape, and then I just reinforced the edges with black duct tape, just so that it wouldn't fray at the edges and give some place for the binder clips to hold on to without tearing the screen material. And then when I'm done with it, I've just been sort of rolling it up and tucking it back in that corner there. I found it's definitely easier to roll it up from the outside rather than trying to do it from the inside. And then at night when I want to put the screen across, I just unroll it, pull it tight, and clip it with those binder clips. And I mean, it's not bad. It's easy enough, and I think I've got about $2 total into it. So I was plenty warm in my summer sleeping bag. It was definitely wasn't that cold, but just pleasantly less hot than it has been. All right, everything's packed up. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Had breakfast, coffee, and tidied up some things that got a little bit disarrayed when I had to get Fred the dog into the back seat yesterday. But now it's time to move on, see what else I find out there. That's going to be the end of this episode. Stay tuned next week for whatever comes next. Thanks for watching. Saw something out there and I thought it might be deer, but it's actually some kind of bird. I don't know what kind of birds those are, but those were big birds.